Hi everybody. Happy Black History Month. For this Black History Month, I've been mostly doing periscopes where I read the history of Nigeria, Nigeria before 1800 AD, and I talk a little bit about Nigerian history because African history isn't just Egypt, and I just feel like it's really important to share that because not a lot of Nigerian history, especially prior to of um, the arrival of European colonizers, not a lot of it is known. So I took this textbook that my dad wrote with a couple of other people. Tifalala E Mahadi M Unhomoibi U Anyamu. I took this textbook and I basically just want to read a bit of it, an excerpt of it right now to you guys about the rise of the Ife Kingdom. So yeah, I hope this is really helpful. If you want to check out more of my stuff that I'm doing for Black History Month, definitely check me out on Twitter. I am at the Black TCK. Yeah, at the Black TCK. So yeah. All right. So let's start. Ife. The ancient kingdom of Ife, together with the old Oyo, typified some of the best examples of centralized states among the Yoruba people in the period before 1800 AD. Ife and Oyo, together with their brother kingdom of Benin, did not only share in the geographical characteristics of the forest region, but also, according to tradition, had related historical roots. So, quick disclaimer, I am not Yoruba, so I will probably destroy some of these names unintentionally, but I will try my best. I'm actually from Edo State, which is modern day, descended from the Benin Kingdom, which we'll be hearing a bit more about later. So I will try my best though. Okay, so there are two major traditions that talk about the origin of the Ife people. And they are slightly different in how they are told because they're based off of oral tradition, but they agree on two major things. First, that the Ife people were Ife as a kingdom was founded and led by Oduduwa. Second, that the Yoruba as a people antedated the Oduduwa period. So basically, in attempting to reconcile both of these traditions, it has been argued that the traditions of Oduduwa need not necessarily be interpreted to meet the origin of the people, but perhaps the demise of one epoch, one period in the history of the Yoruba people, possibly the Obatala period, and the commencement of another, the Oduduwa period. All right, so the precise date of the founding of Ife and the commencement of the reign of Oduduwa is not certain. Radiocarbon dating suggests that Ife was clearly a settlement between the 9th and 12th centuries. The establishment of the Oduduwa phase probably occurred between the mid-10th and 11th centuries. The importance of Ife at this point in time lay in the fact that it became the center of dispersal for rulers who subsequently founded neighboring Yoruba kingdoms, including the Kingdom of Benin. Though Ife exhibited the attributes of a centralized policy, it had no army and exercised no control of a political nature over its neighbors. Its relationship with neighbors was essentially of a spiritual nature, which derived from the Ife image as a father and the national headquarters of the state. Thus, Ife's socio-political institutions were not developed to cater for any sophisticated military, commercial, and administrative demands of an extensive empire. Rather, its socio-political systems were developed to look after the needs of the known gods of the land, as well as to bury the remains of the kings brought back from their distant domains. Ife also dispensed the various symbols to validate the choice of new kings. The ruler at the core of government in Ife was called the Oni. The office of the Oni was monarchical. The exercise of power at the institution and functions within the government of Ife at the center differed from the functions performed at the peripheral districts of Ife. In the latter, the Oni was perceived as the spiritual father of the Yoruba nation. In Ife proper, the monarch exercised real and visible power. Nonetheless, the Oni's powers were constrained in certain respects, as was manifested in the practice of wearing the Oba Lufon crown, Obalufon crown, at the Oni coronation ceremonies. Like I said, I'm going to destroy some of these words. I don't mean to. I'm sorry. In Ife proper, yeah, okay, the Obalufon crown at the Oni coronation ceremonies. So at the king coronation ceremonies, right? This practice underscored the Oni's accountability and obligation to the people of Ife. Though historically there had been clearly defined mode of succession to the Oniship, it was not uncommon for wealthy individuals to climb to power in Ife without regard to traditionally accepted modes of succession. So classism and, like class privilege has in the past allowed people to rise to the ranks of the Oniship. So an example of a rich personage who won his way to power was Laja Misan, the trader. In addition, Ife people had powers to depose their Oni if they were dissatisfied with his governance. So that's pretty cool, because that shows that it wasn't just, it wasn't just like, done without the input of the people. The people who were governed did have the ability and the right to be able to say that this is what they like or this is what they don't like, and this is what they appreciate having. So thank you, Juliana. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm not even sure which name you prefer. But yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay. So so Ile-Ife was remarkable for its patronage of art and culture. Its influence in this regard complemented its spiritual significance to neighboring kingdoms and peoples. Life-size sculptures in terracotta produced in Ife exemplified an accomplishment and beauty which, exempting the similar art discovered in Nok, another part of Nigeria, which was also known for its terracotta sculptures, was unique in Africa. Magnificent bronze casting in Ife were exported to Benin, a neighboring kingdom, which then went on to excel in the art. So, as I said before, I am from Edo State, and Benin Kingdom is where the people of Edo descended from. So, with regards to these sculptures, especially the bronze casting sculptures, they are actually currently still present in the museum in London. They still have quite a few of our bronze sculptures because they were stolen during colonization. So yeah. So magnificent bronze casting in Ife was exported to Benin, a neighboring kingdom, which then went on to excel in the arts. So Benin Kingdom is really known for its bronze sculptures, which apparently originally came from the Ife Kingdom, which is really awesome. Ife potsherd pavements attributed to the reign of Queen Lewa in the 10th century were similarly exported to other Yoruba towns, where they soon became common art. So it's pretty awesome because this book also has some pictures available. So this is obviously a picture of the monarch, I believe, at the time, and it's a terracotta sculpture image. And on the other page, on the next page, is another picture. I believe this is probably of an animal, and it's also of the terracotta. It's also a terracotta sculpture from Ife, and it's pretty awesome that this exists and is still around and available. I'm not entirely sure where these sculptures are, but I know that some of the sculptures do exist in the London Museum. I feel like maybe some might be in the north as well. So definitely I'll look into it and I'll post links and stuff to let you guys know what I'm able to find out. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. Terracotta sculpture from the Ife people. All right, continuing. So the political decline of the kingdom of Ile-Ife coincided with the rise of Oyo and Benin as powerful kingdoms. Indeed, as the political influence of Ile-Ife was never felt beyond Ife, it was easy for even the neighboring and hitherto dependent cities of Owu and Ilesa to assert themselves and claim independence from Ife. Yet the status of Ile-Ife as the father kingdom and Yoruba national headquarters remains undiminished. Ife's primacy as the religious metropolis of the Yoruba people and as a genuine source of divine kingship in Yoruba land remain untampered, even at the time of the total eclipse of Ife political power, Oyo and Bini continue to maintain their spiritual and constitutional ties with Ife in the sphere of ritual practices performed during the burying and coronation ceremonies of their respective monarchs. So yeah, so this is a little bit of the story of the Ife people and the rise of Ife Kingdom. Tomorrow, I have been doing a lot of I've done quite a few periscopes on the history of Nigeria. Using this book, History of Nigeria 1, Nigeria before 1800 AD. And it was written by my dad and a couple of other people. And the people's names are Tifalola, A. Mahadi, M. Uhomoibi, and U. Anyamu. So I definitely highly recommend it. These are all Nigerian people that wrote this textbook, and it's pretty awesome because it's really, really hard to find history books written about Nigeria or even African history by African people. So I definitely highly recommend checking it out if you can. And I'll be doing more scopes. I'll see if I can do maybe another Facebook Live at least, if not this week, next week, on this topic. But if you want to see more of my periscopes and just where else I am, you can definitely either like my Facebook page, the Black CCK, on here, or you could follow me on my Twitter profile at the Black TCK. All right, thanks. And I hope this was helpful. Talk to y'all soon. Goodbye.